I wasn't going to upload until tomorrow morning, but I just got to after that. I think there is also the point that whatever I say now could get old very quickly. I would expect Lopetegui to be sacked first thing tomorrow morning. It might even happen tonight, so who knows. I'm just going to get my thoughts down on record now, and we'll speak again in more depth tomorrow, that's for sure. Leicester City 3, West Ham 1, that was it, wasn't it, at the end? Well, that was quite humbling and quite humiliating. I've not seen that. I did not see that happening. Let me just say this absolutely, first of all, no disrespect to Leicester at all, and none at all. And realistically, for the vast majority of that game, West Ham had control of the game. Unfortunately, we lacked any punch. We had no threat, and I didn't even seem like we were shell-shocked by Jamie Vardy's early opener. I've got to be honest, I don't want to talk about the game too much. I've got to talk about this Lopetegui situation. That's what's really on my mind rather than the game. But let me just tell you where we are in terms of the game, in terms of my thought process. So obviously, as you'll know, Jamie Vardy scored early on. I didn't feel we were shell-shocked. I thought we tried to come back. I think Jarrod Bowen sort of created quite a lot. Even after they'd scored, the better players seemed to be West Ham players. And this is going to sound bitter, and it's not. Honestly, look, we've just taken a thrashing at the hands of Arsenal. If we face players that are much better than ours, I'll absolutely say it. But it felt in that first half, Leicester only really had Jamie Vardy, who was a threat. I wasn't really too impressed with anyone else in their team. Yet we were just unable to break them down. I guess lots of reasons for that. I actually thought so many of our players in that first half were okay. But okay just didn't cut it in that game. We needed something exceptional, and exceptional didn't happen. I think Jarrod Bowen really tried. He had some shots himself. I think he certainly supplied enough ammunition for other players that we should have scored. Thomas Souček could have had a couple of goals. Danny Ings hit the post. He kicked the air when he had the sort of chance that Danny Ings would normally score. I thought Kudus played okay as well. And there were other players that did all right. We had plenty of shots. There's no doubt about that. But this just felt like it had an inevitability about it. And the longer the game wore on, even though after that first half, you just thought West Ham surely will get back into this, because our players were just much better than theirs. Then at half-time, it all sort of switched. I felt very much that Van Nistelrooy had asked them to press more aggressively, and they nicked the ball off of us almost immediately. And also, I think Carlos Soler quite early in the second half actually gave him the ball. I could go through the game and tell you what I thought about our tactics or anything like that. But actually, I didn't think we played that badly. But what I did think we played with, for large parts of the game, is without real sort of purpose, any real incision and any real passion. And I think I feel a bit passionless now about it, really, because I just think there was an inevitability about it. And I think the time for Lopetegui to go has absolutely come. That there is no doubt in my mind. And look, I can only say I don't want to disrespect Leicester City so many times. Otherwise, if I keep saying it, it's just going to curtail what I want to say. They're not a good team. They're not a good team. I think that they are the worst team in the Premier League. I understand. I'm sorry, Leicester. I'm sorry if that sounds bitter, if there's any Leicester City fans watching this. I actually hope you stay up. There you go. I really do. I hope you stay up. But if we can get beat by Leicester City like that, anyone can beat us. You cannot go into that next game. The board, whoever's going to make this decision, Steiten, the board, whoever's going to make this decision on Lopetegui, can't go into that next game against Wolves with any certainty that we will beat them. I said before this game, I thought we would beat Leicester, and I thought we would lose against Wolves. Now, the reason I said that is because I think Wolves got much better players than Leicester, and I think they've got a really energetic midfield and some pretty fast players. Yeah, I mean, I still think we would lose to Wolves. There's just no point. There's no point in carrying on anymore. There will be recriminations, and we will have to look at that on this channel. We will look at that on this channel. Why was Lopetegui appointed in the first place? He is completely unsuited to the job, it has to be said. There was a look of resignation about him. when he was sat on the bench, when a couple of the later substitutions were made, I don't know. Maybe I'm sort of looking at it and seeing what I want to see, or it's a confirmation bias. But he looked like a man who knew he was going to lose his job. He tried everything. He rolled all the dice. He used absolutely everything. Everything that he had in the armoury, he used. He made all the substitutions. We still couldn't beat Leicester. He tried numerous different tactics. He played all the strikers. Füllkrug obviously scored. You'll know that by now because you would have seen the thing. Ings played. Antonio played. Kudus was back. Bowen played. Somerville played a whole half. Paqueta, don't even get me started. Actually, he tried everything. That's it. That's that. I just think sometimes you think that's as good as I've got, and that was as good as he had. He tried all the tactics. He tried all the West Ham players, and we couldn't beat what I do perceive to be let me say this, the weakest group of players in the Premier League. Maybe Leicester might not turn out to be the worst team. Maybe that will be Ruud van Nistelrooy's ultimate victory, that he gets Leicester City playing as a brilliant team. But collectively, they were better than the sum of their parts. I thought they were weak. I've got to be honest, I completely forgot about Patson Daka. I was watching it with my son. I said to my son, we're really lucky that actually Jamie Vardy is the only guy that looks to have any sort of direct running about him. I wasn't overly impressed. I've got to be honest with you. Matt McAteer wasn't overly impressed with the geezer on the other side. Wasn't impressed with the fella that's on loan from Brighton. But then I forgot, and I thought Ruud van Nistelrooy made those substitutions, and immediately he gave Leicester what I thought they'd been lacking. Was astute, was very good, and you saw two managers. You saw the new guy in Van Nistelrooy made substitutions that had an instant impact, and Lopetegui just couldn't do it. He didn't have it. He wasn't as good. And I'm not particularly. I don't particularly enjoy kicking anyone when they're down. But is Lopetegui going to watch this video? Very, very doubtful. There's no point in saying anything mean about him. There's no point in calling him names. There's no point in doing any of that stuff. He's just not up to the job, and that is. The truth is damning enough, isn't it? The truth is enough that he just can't do it. There's no hope. Look, I'm going to wrap this video up now because, as I say, there'll be more to say in the morning on it. I know I've not overly reviewed the game, but do you know what? I don't think you want me to. You don't want me to review the game, do you? You've seen it yourself. It was on Amazon. Everybody got to see the game this time. So. Yeah, massive shame. Honestly, I can't say any more than I've already said. He tried all the tactics. He tried all his players. He had all his best players to try. Chucked them all on. Tried all the fullbacks. Tried all the forwards. Pretty much all the midfielders. He did try all the midfielders by the end of it. Maybe Rodriguez. But what we're saying, he plays Rodriguez and he would make a difference. Of course he wouldn't. That's just everything he's got. Look, he's two centre-backs. He had £75 million worth of centre-back against Arsenal. They were crap. We had two centre-backs tonight. They were crap. He can't organise a defence. He can't organise a midfield. And he can't organise a forward line. That's it. Is it? You don't need to say nasty crap about him. That's it. It's game over. Look, I'm done. And I'm saying this now in as much as I think the club will be done. There's no way anybody can watch that and think anything any different. I really did. As bad as I thought he was, I thought he at least had it in him to beat Leicester. He's worse than I thought he was. And do you know what? The longer this goes on, the more mean I'm going to start sounding. He just can't do it. He's got to go. I've had enough. I wonder if someone will still ask me, so are you Lopetegui in or out? It's just, if we're going to salvage anything from this season, it needs to happen right now. Make no mistake about it. We are one of the worst teams in the Premier League. And if you look at some of the players that he had to work with, we've got some incredible players. Incredible players. It won't take much to get us right. Anyway, I'm waffling on. I'm going to go. I'll catch you later.